Hey, how's it going? It's Brian from Superboard Sunday, and I'm going to show you a free print and play that was just released, I think about a week ago, in light of this whole, quarantine situation. The designer Jeff Engelstein has released a little bit of a print and play of his upcoming game, Super Skill Pinball, and he released the table for the Carniball, and we're going to take a look at that. So you can actually play along with me if you want. So there'll be a link in the description to the print and play file that you can do, that you can print off and play along with me. So you can either pause the video now, go do it, or stop it and then come back if you want to play along after. So essentially, this is a print and play pinball game, and it's exactly like a pinball table in that you have balls, and in this case, I'll be using cubes, but you can grab whatever you want to use, and we'll be rolling two dice in a given turn and making decisions based off of that. You have three total balls before your game is over, and then your score is kept here. I have the rules off to the side in case I have to reference anything, but I'll kind of explain as I go. Um, I'll explain kind of the how the game flows a little bit. So your ball's going to start off here to start, right here where it says start, and essentially you're going to roll two dice. When you roll the two dice, when you have one ball in play, we'll get to multi-ball in a second, you're going to decide which of these two dice you want to use. Now, the table obviously works top down, and it's broken up into sections. So you can, if you want, shoot and go, down to any of these, but to start, you might want to stop up here first on these Ferris wheel cars. So let's say I take this 3 here. So I'll mark this 3 off here. Now that I've done an action up in the Ferris wheel, my next number has to be below that in the next below sections. So I would roll 2 more dice. In this case, I got a 5 or a 1. So I can come down here to the bumpers. Are these bumpers? Yes, it's the bumper zone, which is right here. So you can come down to the bumpers and you can mark one of these sections. What's cool about the bumpers is they give you instant points. So if I mark this 1 off here, I will get a point. Or a star, as you will, and stars are points. So after you hit a bumper, that's the only exception to the rule where you can go, still stay in this bumper lane, but you have to, or the bumper zone, but you have to stay, your next dice has to be in the next clockwise bumper. So I can roll the dice again. Right now my ball is here. I can roll again. And because I rolled a 3 and a 4, I can choose any one, to be honest, and I'll just choose this 3, which gets me another point. And I'm staying in this bumper zone. So I would roll again. I got a 6. I can stay right in this bumper zone, no problem. Keep getting stars, keep going. And you go around, and you keep going around until you fill them all in. Say I had both 1s filled in, and I rolled a 1. I couldn't go back up there because all my 1s are marked off. But if you end up marking all of these off, you erase them all, and then you basically have a new fresh set of numbers to hit. So it kind of keeps the ball in play a little bit. So after doing your bumper zone area, you now come down to the target zones, which are over here. And target zones give you a bunch of things. I still have some things I have to erase from my last game. The target zones give you a bunch of things. For hitting each target, you'll get a star. Hitting them, they're paired up by numbers here, so hitting a 6 will no longer allow you to get a 5 there until that's reset. But essentially, you hit that, you would get a star, and you continue down to the flippers, the flipper zones. Flipper zones are pretty intuitive. They allow you, depending on which flipper you're at and what number you draw, or what number you roll, the yellow bumpers will let you hit any of the yellow targets. So in this case, I could hit the flipper right to one of these target zones here. I can hit them up to any of the bumpers here, or in the case of the yellow flipper, hit it all the way back up to the top and start the Ferris wheel over again, which is pretty awesome. So that's what the yellow flipper does. The red flipper over here will allow me to do kind of the same thing, but with red targets. So I can hit any of the red targets again, up to the bumpers, or in the case of this pinball table specifically, go up the feats of strength right here. So feat of strength is pretty much, you need to roll these dice in order to get these points, up to a maximum of 20 points. So in order to get up to this feats of strength, I got to roll a 1 first, and then after that, I'll have to roll a 2, and etc. to do that. So that's pretty much. We'll kind of go through the rest as we play. A couple other things I'll mention is once you get all 3 of these crossed off, you erase them, and then you fill in a skill shot. So a skill shot is a wild. So if I roll these 2 dice, I can now use one of these numbers instead to do that. And then there are spaces down here for the 2 and the 5 will let you go down here and get into these paddles, but also get some extra stars. You can only use them once per ball. And then the 1 and the 6 here are basically you fall out and you lose the ball, but you get 2 points for doing so. There are also a bunch of, once you knock down each of these paddles, or I'm sorry, each of these targets in the target zone, you get bonuses. So you can activate this flipper pass, which basically allows your flipper to go any which way. So you can use the red paddle now to go all the way around, or the yellow paddle to use the feats of strength, so kind of using that. That's once per game. The fill 2 hammer spaces basically means filling 2 of these. I think the 2 hammer spaces are right here. So you can fill 2 hammer spaces here. And then that's it for the game. You can also activate a multi-ball, which will bring a ball another ball into play, which we'll talk about when we get there. And that's once per game. And then if you have all those filled up, you can go right here to get 2 stars every time you clear it. So that's that. Over here, the bumpers are 2 times when activated until the end of the ball. So these things, instead of giving you 1 star, gives you 2. The out lane is multiplied by 2. So the out lanes are right here, the 1 and the 6. So if you go out, you'll get 4 points. And that's till the end of the ball. And that's once per game. And then another multi-ball activation right here. So that's that. Let's get into it. Again, I'll play as I go, or I'll explain as I go. There's some nudges that I might do here, which we can get it. Which you're gonna do. The rule book is only 2 pages double side, so it's a 1 page double side. So it's pretty easy to follow along. But obviously there's a lot going on. But it's once you get going, it's a very fast game that almost kind of play. I mean, it plays like pinball in that you can keep moving once you get a rhythm. So, but I'll slow it down to explain to you. So to start, you put your first ball up here, and you're gonna roll 2 dice, and then you're gonna choose which dice you want to use. So I rolled a 5 and a 3. So I'm gonna mark this 5 bumper right here, and I'm right there to start. Now I roll again, and I have to move down now. So now that I've hit one of the Ferris wheels, I have to come back down. And I rolled a 2 or a 3. Well, I want to go over here to this 2 bumper, which gets me a star, because every time you hit a bumper, you get a star. And then I can roll again. This time I can stay here. Like, the only way I can stay in this zone is if I roll a 3 or a 4. Otherwise, I have to fall down here. So I rolled 2 1s. Can't stay up in this bumper zone, but I can come down to any of these. I am going to actually I'll hit this 1 down here, which takes off that whole target zone. It gets me a star. And now I keep going. And now I have to go down to the paddle area here, or the flipper area. And I rolled a 1 and a 2. Well, a 1 is no good in this position because that means my ball would immediately be over. So I'm going to pick this 2 to come on down here to the red paddle. So this 2 gave me 2 stars. And now I am rolling to go back up the board. So when I'm in a red zone, I can go anywhere in the bumpers. I can go to the feat of strength right here, or these target zones here based on what I roll. A 3 or a 4. I'm actually going to come up here to this 3, which gets me a star. And then I can roll again. Nice, I got a 5 and a 6. So that means I'm going to stick around here. I'm going to mark this 6 off right here and get a star for staying in the bumpers. I'm going to roll again. A 1 and a 3. So now I'm going to go back up, I think, to the bumper to stay here and do that. I'll pause for a quick second. I just realized I was saying you guys can play along with me, so you guys can either do a quick rewind, step through some of these dice, and then I'll just take a quick break so you can catch up if you are. So, just rolled a 1 and a 3. I'm staying up here in the bumpers, so now let's roll the next set of dice. I rolled a 1 and a 1. So I can't stay up in the bumpers anymore. I got to come down. The only one that will keep me in this game, or keep the ball in the game for me, is right here. I'm going to mark that off, get a star for that. And I should mention this game can be, like, as I'm doing right now, all you need is a copy of the game, 2 dice, and some cubes to play. Cubes or something to kind of act as a ball, and you only need 2 of those because you can't have 3 balls in the game at a given time. And also, when you start the game, you mark off that you've used the first ball right here, so you have 3 and then you're done. Now I can roll again. And I rolled a 2 or a 6, so the 2 I could actually go to this yellow paddle, which I believe I might do. The 6 I can either leave the table, which I don't want to do yet, or go to the red paddle. But I'm going to go down here to this this yellow paddle, and that eliminates the 2 and the 3 space right there. 2 and a 2, which is good for me. So the yellow lane, as I said, can come back around at the top. I'm going to mark this 2 off right here, and I'm 1 step away from getting a skill shot. Because when I come back up, if I get a 3 or a 4, I would erase these Ferris wheels, and I would pick a wild for a turn that I need a different number die on. I rolled a 4 and a 5. So I have to come back down. So I'm going to do this 4 here. Hitting the bumpers gets me a point. Roll again. Rolled a 1 and a 2. So I got to come back down. The 1s and 2s, check, are already all checked off here in the bumper zone. Looks like the only option I can do is, again, to stay in the game would be this 1 here. To go down to the yellow paddle here. And again, I can always nudge it. Nudging is an interesting concept, which I'll get into a little bit when we start running low on numbers. But nudging, essentially, you may change one of the dice to a different number you want. But be careful, you might tilt. Nudge, you fill in the double line boxes, which would be right here. And write down the difference between the new and old numbers in the large box. So say I rolled this 1 and a 2, and I actually wanted a 3. So I would change this 2 to a 3, and I would write the difference here, or the difference here in, as a 1. Then you tilting. Then you have to check if you tilted. If you roll on the next roll, you see if the difference is greater than or equal to the difference that you wrote here. And if it's greater than or equal to, you pass. And if it's not, if it's less than that number, you tilt it and the ball immediately ends. So we'll get to that. So I could have changed it, but right now I'm going to stick with that 1 here and stay in the yellow zone. 4 and a 5, and I do want that 4, because now I'm going to hit the paddle all the way up here. Get that 4, and now I get to pick a number here. So kind of the strategy here is you get to pick a number that you might need to use in the event that you are stuck with these numbers here. So I'm actually going to draw a 2. And my reason for that is, oh wait, no, I'm not going to draw a 2. That's not what I want to do at all. So I want to avoid rolling a 2. So maybe I'll get something else like a 4. My point is, because right here I have no, if I roll a 2 and I have to come down here, my ball's dead. So if I do roll a 2, and that's my only option, I can change it to a 4 and have a little bit more flexibility there. So that's what I want to do. And then these get erased. And now I still go back down. A 1 and a 6. So I have to come down here. I'm going to mark off this 1 down there and get a point. And now I can hopefully roll a 3 or a 4 and kind of stay in this bumper zone, get some nice points. I rolled a 3 and a 6. In order to stay in the bumper lanes again, I have to roll the next one counterclockwise. I'm going to mark this 3 here. And I get a point for that. And then we do roll again. I rolled a 6 and a 1, and the 6 is great because now I can stay right here in this 6 zone. Go right there. All right, I'm going to roll again. I rolled a 5 and a 4. Did I move my thing down here? I did. I should have moved that down there, so that's good. Should have done that. So now I need a 5 and a 4, so I can't go back up. I have to come down. So I will do this yellow bumper here and mark that off. I rolled a 4 and a 3, which is good. I have to go down here now. So I will do this 4 here to come down to the red paddle. I rolled 2 4s, so I can come back up here and hit this 4, which I think I should do. I can come here and hit this paddle, or I can try to nudge it, but I don't want to. So I'm going to hit it all the way back up here to these bumpers and get that point. So now I only need 2 5s and a 2 to clear that. So now roll. 5 and a 1. A 5 is good for me because now I can mark that off here and get a star for that. 5 and a 6, so I got to come back down now. So 5 and a 6 would probably be good right here to hit this zone here for a star. A 1 and a 3. So I need to do the. I have to do the 3. I could use my skill shot for a 4 to come down here, but I'm gonna grab this. I'll do this 3 here to come down to the red paddle here. A 2 and a 6. This 2 is great for me right now because now I can come back up here and mark this 2 off. Now, because I've already marked these numbers off in this bumper zone, I can't come back around. So that bumper's clear, so I have to now come back down before I can even go back up to this bumper here. I grab a star for that. 5 and a 4. 4 is good for me on either of these, so what we're going to do is I'll mark this off here, which gives me a star and actually activates a bonus. So before you do that, clear these off. And then I get to pick a bonus. So I can do the flipper pass, which lets me go anywhere from any flipper. I can do fill 2 hammer spaces, which is this one, which might be good. I'm going to save that hammer space for when I get higher up, I think. So I'll keep that. The multi-ball, I don't know if I want to. Maybe I'll enter that now, and I'll show you how that works. So let's do the multi-ball. Why not? So we do a multi-ball, mark that off, and you put the second ball or piece of token that you have up at the top. And now when you roll the dice, you have to assign 1 to each ball or token. So when I roll these next 2 dice, 1 has to go to one of these dice, the other one has to go to these dice. But the cool part about multi-ball is when there's 2 balls in play, every star you earn is double. Let's roll these dice. I rolled a 3 and a 2. And I think I'm going to be... Let's see. Okay, so here's kind of a situation I found myself in. So a 3 and a 2 would work no problem for me up here. I cannot use a 3 or a 2 for this ball right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my skill shot of a 4 to bring this ball down here and mark that 4 off. Keeps the ball in play a little longer for me. And so then I will do the 3 on this car for this ball. Cool. Now you roll again. Roll a 6 and a 3. So for me, it's best for me to use that 3 for this ball and the 6 for this, and I'll show you why. We'll do this ball first. This ball comes up here. Boom. 6. Hit that right there. Then this ball is going to fall all the way down here and hit this 3. This 3 gives you normally 1 star, but since we're in multi-ball, we get 2. And now we get to go again. I'm looking for a 5. Would be very nice right now. 5 and a 6. Let's evaluate this. So this is what we're going to do. So what I'll do is I'm going to bring this guy down to this 6 here, or I'm sorry, this 5. And what that does is I get the 2 points because points are doubled. And then these are erased. And that stays there. So that was the 6, or I'm sorry, that was the 5. So I got to use the 6 for this guy, and I can right here. Unfortunately, that's the last place for a flipper. So that's pretty much, we're coming close to the end of this ball number 1, so we're doing that. I got a 6 and a 1. So the 1 I'm actually going to use to bring this ball up to the feats of strength here. He'll be at the 1. So I have to use the 6 for this ball, and there's a spot right here for it, which will get me 2 points. Again, 2 points because multi-balls are doubled. When there's 2 balls in play, points are doubled. So now that I'm up here, I can't go around. I have to come back down with both of these. So this has to go to a flipper. So I'm looking for a 5 would be ideal, just because a 5 will let me stay in the game a little longer. So, ooh, double 2s. So fortunately for one of the balls, I can go here. So that'll be this ball here for 2 points. Maybe I'll try to nudge this one. So I'm going to nudge this ball from a 2 to a 1 so it gets into this outer lane here. So I'll do that. I'm marking off that I'm going to nudge first time. The difference is 1. And this ball will go here. And it exits, but I get 4 points because it's, again, balls are doubled. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And so now we see if I lose the ball. So wait, can I not nudge? Let me make sure. Okay, so I can't. You can only nudge to avoid losing a ball, and that's in the rules. And I remembered reading that. So again, can't nudge to lose a ball. So those 4 points are saved, and this ball is just lost, which is fine. So you cannot nudge a ball into the outer lanes, which is fine. I'll get by somehow. Roll again. 1 and a 2. Well, now we're gonna go out. So I'm gonna do the 1 to come out here, and then get 2 points that way. And that's the end of my first ball. So then at the end of your balls, you erase any dotted line area, which is basically all the paddle areas down here. And that's pretty much it. You leave every paddle that you have, you keep there. So pretty much anything in a dotted line box you erase. And we go again. Marking ball number 2. One and a 2. 1 is perfect, or a 2. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to go right here to this guy, and I'm going to get a free skill shot. I'm going to choose a 2. No. I'll choose a 2. And then these are erased. Two 3s. I'm going to go right here with mine and get a point for that. 3 and a 6. That 6 is great for me. It makes me able to stay in the bumper area to grab another point. One and a 3. So the 1, I can come right back up here in the bumper. Just stay up here, get another point. It's nice when you stay in the bumpers. You just keep racking up the points, just like, in pinball. Perfect. 3 and a 6. Gotta mark that guy off. Stay in the bumpers. Give me a 5 and a 6 here, please. That'd be awesome. 5 or a 6 would be nice. Nothing. I got a 2 and a 3, so I gotta come back down. Luckily, I have a bumper here, or a target zone with a 3. So I'll mark that. Get a point. I can erase these now, because they're now reset. And I get my choice of a flipper pass until the end of this ball, which I might do. I can fill 2 of these hammer spaces. I'm not ready to do that yet, so I might just do this. Flipper pass. A flipper pass allows me to take any of the lanes. So if this yellow flipper can now go to the feats of strength, or this red can go all the way back up to the top. Let me make sure there's anything else in that I can do. Yep, nope, they can be used to any feature regardless of color. And I'm going to do flipper pass is now active as a reminder. Bam. Go do that. And now we'll roll again. I don't know if I give myself a star for that. For hitting that. 6 and a 2. I do like that 2. It'll give me 2 stars immediately. I might save that in case I get another multi-ball over here. So I'll do the 6 right here in this red flipper right there. 5 and a 6. Neither of which are good for here. I could go all the way back up here, which I think I will, to get this 5 or 6. Using the flipper pass feature to kind of break the rules and go up here to the top. 1 and a 3. The 1's good for me. I can come down here to this bumper and get a point for hitting that bumper. Two and a 3. 3 I can't do. The 3s are marked off already on this bumper. So I have to come back down here. And I'll grab this bumper here. Or this target area here for 1 star. 4 and a 5. 5's good. I could get 2 stars right now, but I'll just save it and go to this 4 right down here to stay in this in the flippers. 3 and a 5. 3 is good for me. I'm gonna go all the way up here, and it hits that right there. I only have 1 more Ferris wheel I need to get another skill shot. 2 and a 3. 2 is good. I come down here, get another point for that. 6 and a 3. I can't do the 3 again, or the 6, because I have to be in the next bumper to even get there. So I'm going to come here to the 3 and a 4 right down here. And then that gets me a star. And again, I'm 1 bumper away, or 1 target away from getting a bonus here as well. 1 and a 3. I can use them anywhere. That's the beauty of that flipper pass. When you have a lot of spaces, you can kind of go anywhere. So I'm gonna do this 3 here. Actually, I'm gonna use the 1 here, because I realized I have a skill shot of 2. So I can use that 2 as a wild if I need to use it down there. So right now I'll leave that 2 spot open. Four and a 6. The 4 will be good, so I'm going to come up here with this flipper. Boom, hit that right there. I could have also used it right here to clear this, But I won't do that. I get a point. One and a 5. I can use that 5 to come right down here. This bumper and get another point. 6 and a 4. So I got to come back down. Let's do this one right down here. I'll mark off this 4. Gets me a star. And let's activate that multi-ball. Let's get it in here. So these erased. Another ball comes in. And again, each die has to be assigned to a ball. In this case, now that I have the multi-ball, that's how it happens. But each feature, each thing that scores is now doubled, which is nice. So I have a 1 and a 6. So I'm definitely going to use... Ooh, so... Interesting. So now I'm going to do this. So I have the 1 I'm going to give to the ball that just came in play, because that then clears this to give me a skill shot. And I'll use that skill shot for a 5. Actually, I'll use it as a 6. And then this ball has to use the 6, which if it does, it goes out, and I'll get 4 points for it. But I want to use my 2 that I saved up to keep this ball in play. And then these Ferris wheel spots get erased. And we'll roll again. 2 and a 4, that is. I'm going to use this 2 right here and get 2 points for that. And then I will use the 4 to come all the way back up here. Oh, and I also forgot to erase this skill shot. Once you use a skill shot, you erase it, and you can get it again. You just have to erase it once you use it the first time. Or once you use it, you erase them and go for another one. 2 3s. Interesting. So I know that, well, so they both can stay in play. So one of them will go here. Doesn't matter which at this point. 2 stars because of the multi-ball. And then the other 3, I could change to a 5. Which, you know what, I'm going to. Because that'll give me 2 stars for going to this paddle. And then I can either fill 2 hammer spaces, meaning fill these, which I think I will do that now. I wanted to wait for one more, but we'll fill those now. Now I get 1, 2 stars, or in this case, 4 stars. It's pretty good. Roll again. So now I will use the, it's 1 and a 6. I have a 5, or I have a 6 available, so it doesn't do me any good. I could nudge the table once to make this a 5 to keep it in play. I can nudge the 1 another time too. 2 nudges, huh? Let's see. Let me check the rules real quick on nudging. You may not nudge a ball if it makes you lose the ball. So we're not going to lose it. I'm nudging both of them. But can I nudge both balls, I wonder? Because I'll lose both of them. So I will nudge one of them to a 2. It's a difference of 1. So I guess you can only nudge one ball because there's only one box to do that, because you calculate the difference on the next turn. So I'm going to nudge the 1 into a 2 to keep it in the lane here. And that's going to get me 4 points. And then this ball I will lose, but because I lost it while we were doing a multi-ball, I'll get 4 points for that. This ball is saved. We lost the multi-ball. That's fine. We'll keep going. Back to regular choices here. 5 and a 2. I wish I got a 4. It would have been nice. I guess I could nudge it, but I don't want to. But again, the difference of that was 3, so that was greater than the difference of this one, so we're good there. Let's see. I can go anywhere. I'm still in flipper pass mode, so I can go wherever I want. I might go all the way back up here. Keep the ball in play up high. 1 and a 3. That was a 3. I'll come down here to hit this 1 for a star. Couple of 2s. Not the best. So I would lose the ball, so I'm going to nudge it to a 3. This is using my last nudge of the game, which I don't know if that's good strategy or not. So I'm going to nudge one of these 2s to a 3. I've already nudged 1. That's my next one. That's my last nudge. The difference is 1. And I'll go right there. Roll these 2. If the difference is greater than 1, so we're fine with that. Obviously, that's bumping it up 1 is usually a safe bet. It's always a safe bet in that case. But now I have no more nudges, so remind myself. 1 and a 6. So this 1 is good. Again, in flipper pass mode, I can go anywhere. So I'll go right there. And because these have cleared, I get to do another skill shot, and I'm going to do a 5. One and a 2. I have to come down here now. So I'll do this 1 and 2. Get me another star. Roll it again. 1 and a 4. This 4 is good. Keeps me in play. Six and a 4. This 4 is perfect for this hammer right here. Grab 2. A 6 and a 1, which is good for either of these. I'm going to get this, see if I can clear these hammers off. I'll grab that 6 for 1 more point. You can see all the paddles here are done, so I really need that 5, which I'm glad I grabbed here, because now, if I don't get a 5 now, I can at least use a skill shot to keep the ball in play. So I got a 4 and a 3. All those spots that are needed to keep the ball in play are gone. So I'm going to use the 5 that I just got, the 5 skill shot, to go down this lane here. And grab 2 stars for doing that. So that saved me there. I won't have much luck as this comes back around, but let's see what we got. 4 and a 3. Get that up there. The 4. A 4 would be nice right now, or a 5 or 6. 4, 5, 6 would be nice. 6 is good for right here. Gets us another star. Nice. Then we will roll again, and we have to come down. 5 and a 6, which is good to keep the ball in play. Now there's no way for me to save the ball, so I'm looking to get a 1, which would be nice to get. I can't nudge anything, so natural 1 would have to do. We got it. Never been so excited to lose a ball in pinball, but we got the 1. We're going to come down here. And we lost the ball there. So we're on our final ball. That guy there. And again, at the end of once you lose a ball, you erase all the dotted line spaces. So remember, I don't have the flipper pass anymore, which that was a very good bonus. And this is my final ball. Let's get into it. 2 and a 4. Use that 2. Let's keep that ball up here. I need more skill shots. 6 and a 2. Not good around here. So I have to come back down. Oh, gotta go all the way down, huh? So I use a 6 here. That's a rough one. So there's no 6s to activate here. I can't nudge anything anymore. These 6s are activated here. So I have to go here. And no flipper pass, so I need hopefully something like a 5 or a 6 would be very nice. Or Yeah, a 5 or a 6 would be fine. So I got a 6 and a 3, which actually is kind of rough because this is a 5 here. That's a 5 there. Luckily, I got a 3 because that's the only one I can. Oh, I can't even hit the 3, can I? Ooh, that's a rough one. And I can't hit a 6. But my guess is, and if Jeff is watching or someone more experienced in the game is, I'm hitting the ball up and around. Can I pass to? Can I just hit a 3 back to here? Now that we're coming back up and down, that is interesting. Interesting. So my question is, essentially, can I hit it and then come back down to these 3s from this? The yellow flipper sends your ball back up to any feature colored yellow. You may move the ball through this lane. Each flipper has 3 boxes. In addition, there are 2 inner lanes. Yellow flipper does that. Okay. You fill one of these, you score 2 points. I'll play it as this. So it says any red feature. So I'm basically going to hit it back around to myself at 3. Not sure if that's the correct thing to do, but kind of keeping the ball in play, but marking down. It's basically like I hit it and just came back around and hit nothing, which happens in pinball. So I'd imagine that can happen in this game. A 4 and a 6. So I'm actually going to do this 4 here to get a point. 5 would be nice. 5 is not what I got. A 3 or a 1. The 3 is good, so I can mark this off. Now these, I get a star for that. And because the only bonus I have left is 2 stars, I get 3 stars. And this 2 stars can be used now all the time. It's infinite, and it's not until the end of the, it's forever. Roll again. 5 and a 6. I'll use this 5 for this red here. One and a 6. These are rough. So the 1, oh yeah, I can't. It's another one of these situations here. I think that's where my I should have picked this one. I knew I should have picked that. So it looks like I can't do anything on that one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut my losses here. I got a 1 and a 6. I can't come back up here because I'm in the wrong flipper. I can't, this 5 and a 5 here. I can't nudge anymore. I can't hit the yellow targets from this red bumper. And the only red target here is a 4. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is, because this is yellow, I'm taking on technicalities that I'm just going to hit this ball up, out this 1 here, and lose the ball for 2 points. So that's my final score. It's an interesting scenario. So I wonder, I'm going to be searching the forums for that to see how that works. But essentially, like I mentioned, I had no targets I could hit around here. So I use that as kind of like my only way to get points. So not my highest score by any means. This is my 3rd game that I've played. I got a 114 as my highest score, and my first score I got an 80. So kind of shows you what you can do. So that's how you play Super Skill Pinball Carniball. I will put a link into the description below, and I appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy, and let me know what you think. Cheers, guys.